So our next presenter is Dwayne Wessels from Internet Systems Consortium.
No.
Oh.
I'm from the Measurement Factory.
Sorry.
And
Sorry.
That's okay. and I do a lot of work with CADA and for CADA. So today I'm talking about CADA's upcoming Day in the Life of the Internet Data Collection Project. This first slide is the very short story, so you can pay attention to this and then decide if you want to pay attention to the rest of the talk or not. In about a month, in March, we are organizing a data collection event following some previous efforts in 2006 and 2007. We think that you all have very interesting data, and your data could help researchers answer interesting questions, and we would love for you to participate and help us collect data. I want to really emphasize this point. We don't necessarily want you to send your data to us. We want you to collect the data. If you need us to store the data, we can arrange for that, but we really want you to collect the data and then describe it and index it into a database so that other researchers can find it and find out how they can get it and then contact you. So the Day in the Life of the Internet was motivated by a report from 2001 that challenged internet researchers to do something like this, to capture a solid day of data and make it as widely available to researchers as possible. CADA's first DIDL event was in 2006, where we coordinated the collection of DNS root server traces for a 48-hour period. In 2007, we essentially repeated that, although we expanded a little and got some additional data, which I'll talk about next. So inspired by all this success, we hope to expand it even further this year and get lots of cool data from folks like you. I won't go through all these, but this is a list of the data that we got for 2007. We had 5 root servers participating. We had some AS112 servers and some servers from the Open Root Server Network. Some universities in Japan and Korea and the US gave us, or didn't give us, they collected packet captures on the DIDL dates and so on. Here's a list of a few interesting things that we learned from our 2007 data. This is largely just DNS stuff, but 5% of the clients are responsible for 95% of the load at the root servers that we were measuring. And again, approximately 1 to 2% of the queries to the roots are what we consider legitimate. The rates that we saw basically doubled between 2006 and 2007. And the root server's use of Anycast is very effective at localizing resource consumption and limiting the impact of DDoS attacks. So this graph kind of shows a little bit of the latter. This shows where clients are and where servers are. The servers are located along the x-axis, roughly corresponding to longitude. Client locations are color-coded. So, for example, this yellow section represents clients located in Asia, and for the most part, the servers located in Asia get queries from clients located in Asia, and servers located in Europe get queries from clients located in Europe, and so on. There's a few, interesting anomalies, but for the most part, it's what you'd expect. This graph shows our analysis of the pollution that we see at the roots. And here's 2 graphs, one for C root and one for F root. Each graph has 5 vertical bars. These are groups of clients organized, grouped by their mean query rate. So, for example, the low query rate clients are on the left, and the high rate ones are on the right. And I don't know if you can see the different colors there, but this light tan section represents what we consider legitimate queries. And of course, as you look to the higher and higher rate sources, their percent of legitimate queries is none. One interesting thing about the F root data is this huge blue section here. These are all queries for top-level domains that are not valid. So for some reason, F root attracts a lot of that kind of traffic. Here's a few of the things that we learned from our collection process in 2007. You always need more disk space than you think. Collecting the data is easy. Sometimes indexing the data is hard. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Here's some of the questions that we hope to answer with our data again next year. Looking more at the source of the root server garbage, looking for trends in IPv6 and DNSSEC and packet sizes and usage of TCP, looking at adoption of internationalized domain names. We're really curious why so many clients continue to query the old root server IP addresses after they've moved. Here's some more questions. These are all sort of non-DNS related. Other questions that we think could be answered with data that's collected for a DIDL event. Things about botnets, characterizing traffic, applications, web, VoIP, video, so on. We're interested in if IPv6 traffic is much different than v4. For most of us, the only thing we can do with v6 at this point is ping. Is there something else going on that we don't know about? Is research and education traffic different than commercial traffic? 1 minute? Oh, boy. Here's more questions. I'm going to skip over this slide. So, again, one of the things I really want to hammer home is that DIDL wants to be very accommodating to your terms and conditions for data that you can collect. So if you can collect the data, you can define how it's made available to others. You may give it to people you trust. You may make it available publicly after anonymization and so on. After you collect data, we ask that you index it into CADA's DATCAT so that other people can learn about it and learn how to contact you to find out if they can have access to the data. So please participate. Here's some URLs that may be helpful for you in deciding or participating. And contact either myself or Kay Claffey if you're interested in participating or have questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dwayne, from the Measurement Factory.